Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining myself today. I'm Floyd Marshall, and welcome to a conversation with podcast. And today, I'm joined by two exceptional brothers, Chase, Flo, Bradley, and Wavyy Jonez. Now, these gentlemen are both in the music industry, hot and heavy. You know, Chase is an international Emmy nominated DJ. Mr. Wavyy Jonez is an exceptional rapper. You need to go look him up on YouTube. He's got some hot shit on there. It's absolute fire. And not only that, he is an accomplished actor who got his first acting debut playing the role of the iconic Biggie Smalls.
Sure.
So now that is a hell of a way to start, ladies and gentlemen. Your first acting role, and you come out the gate with Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, welcome to the show. How you guys doing today?
Thanks for
Great,
having us, man. We
great.
good. Good.
Yeah.
Honor.
So we're here because Wavy will be flying in tomorrow because we're doing a second screening of Wu Tang, an American Saga.
Soccer, yo.
Yes, an American Saga. We're going to be doing that Wednesday in Philadelphia at the CEC Center. And, we're so excited to have Wavy in the building. And we're so excited to have Chase Flo Bradley back in the building because he's actually partnering with this phenomenal group that I happen to belong to, Eli Lou Entertainment, the Philly Film Factory.
The
So
twins.
it's going to be fire. But let's get to this, gentlemen. So how did both of you guys get started in the music business?
Oh
You.
man. Go ahead, Jones. You got it.
Oh, man, I was putting on you. Seniority
Like,
first, man.
all right, go ahead. And
Seniority
listen.
first.
Well, I mean, with me, man. So like, just like I said, I'm originally born and raised Philadelphia, PA. Started out doing my thing. I was a teenager. I moved to LA in about 2010, and I went out there to go to school. I went out there to further my career. And I was doing my thing out here in the city, was doing some shows locally and tri-state area, all that. But I was like, you know what? I really want to try my hand at this music stuff, and I know that rapping just ain't the only way. So, like I said, I moved to LA. I went to school for engineering. I
Mm.
went to school in Hollywood, the Los Angeles Recording School, and graduated with my degree a couple years later after 2010. And yeah, man, fast forward, I got into like different sides of the game, and I learned production. I learned how to, compose music, and the behind the scenes stuff, and getting into that side of the game, man. It really just showed me and gave me so many different layers. As you mentioned, I just started DJing about 6 years ago, and that actually all happened by like it was a joke. I was doing an interview in the Philippines, and the host just kept calling me DJ Chase Flow. And when we cut the break, I was like, "Bruh, like I'm not a DJ. Like, why you keep calling me that?" He's like, "Yo, just run with it, man." He's like, because people out here they like DJs more than they at least like them producers and whatnot.
Mm.
So later on, we went to the showcase. He's like, "Yo, we got DJ Chase Flow in the building," and like, yo, all these girls went crazy, and I was like,
Okay,
"Oh, yeah, that's
that's a
right.
good incentive.
I'm the
That's the
DJ."
way to do it.
But
Yeah.
it was funny though because it just gave me something where I seen like just the power and the impact that DJs have, and just having that love for music as a creative. I always had the ear for it, but I just never knew the technicality. And then I got with some folks, and boom, like I said, it's took me around the world. I've traveled over 20 countries and
Mm.
produced and DJ for some amazing people. Wavy and we connected, what I'm saying? And we've been doing things, ever since we can remember.
Facts, facts. Me, I was like 5 years old, man. I was just like, yo, I like the way that stuff sounds. You know what I mean? I was listening to Big, Jay, Eric Sherman, Rakim, and I was just like, yo, something about this. So what I did was I started with poetry, man. I was like, let me go ahead and learn how to format the words. I start formatting the words. I start saying the words. People like the flow, and man, I've been doing it. I've been doing it ever since then, man. We was rapping in churches. We was rapping different theaters and stuff like that, man. And it's been a blessing. And it was actually how I got to start into acting. I did a freestyle and it caught the eye of somebody that hit me. I was like, yo, you remind me of Big. And they sent me the audition, man, and that's when I started doing that. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So the formatting of words, the language, and you know what? Now I'm old school, over 50, so I grew up with a lot of the greats. And one of the things that I absolutely loved about how they would rap is if you listen, there was a story.
Right. Right.
There was always a story to it, and they would really break it down. So the fact that your base is the spoken word,
Mm-hmm.
that says a lot. And I listened to some of your music, and you could really, again, it's the story. I listened to the rap about Will Smith. There's a story behind that,
Yeah.
so that's a beautiful thing. But I want to ask you about your role as Biggie Smalls. No acting training, you get a major role, you're on
Mm-hmm.
set. um, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you weren't really familiar with the terminology on sets. Here's your mark, things such as that.
Absolutely.
So how did you navigate that? Being green.
Man, shout out to the amazing director we had, Anthony Hemingway. He was patient with both me and Mark with a lot of things that happened on set. Because even though he had his first role, we were still kind of new to how things went. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So Anthony just kind of walked me through it. He's like, stand on your mark. And I start looking around like, what that mean? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what's stand right here? So we had a great director, man, that actually he led the ship and taught me a lot of that. And as I've actually gotten more, like I'm still learning, man. I'm still learning. Each and every time I step on a set, it's something new I'm learning. But yeah, that first time I went out there, I was definitely on Anthony Hemingway that actually taught me how to do that. And him being a major part to bring me on board. He already knew that I wasn't an actor. I wasn't trained in that field, and he led me through it.
And interestingly enough, sometimes when you're not an actor,
Mm-hmm.
you bring something new to the role because I used to do that myself. And you're trained, and you look at things a certain way.
Right.
But when you're not an actor or an actress, sometimes you bring an entirely different perspective that people may not have seen.
Yeah.
So more than likely in the audition, they were probably looking at you saying, see, he doesn't know what not to do.
So he does it right.
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 So that's really interesting. But I wanted to ask you another question. We're going to go back to your childhood a little bit because I did some
Mm-hmm.
research on you. Um, Growing up in a single parent household,
Right.
you're watching mom go to work every day, and you're
Mm-hmm.
sitting there saying to yourself, at some point in time, this is going to change. So how has that been basically motivation for you to be where you are and to stay where you are and to stay on your grind, seeing how your mom works so hard?
Yeah. It's been great motivation. It's
Mhm.
definitely been great motivation to keep striving. Even with this, like I'm still in the grind. I'm still going every day because I believe, what I'm saying, that there's a greater space that the Most High has for us. You know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
for everybody in my family, and I strive to bring us along. Um, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to Chase, man. He actually has been a strong force in keeping me going, man. Like oftentimes this business, this game, everything that comes around it is very discouraging, man, and it can knock you off your high horse real quick, man. It'll humble you so fast, and I thank God for him. I thank God for my mom and people that's been around me, just kind of keeping me going forth, man, because it takes a village. You know how they say it takes a village to raise a child. Even with this stuff, man, when you doing this, it's like, yo, you gonna need some loyal people around you that's gonna speak your name in rooms that you're not even in. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And that's definitely been a strong force in keeping me going, man. And watching my mom go through everything she went through, and you know what I'm saying, we went through it together. It was like we all You know what I mean, from shelters and everything else. We went through that together. So every day, man, we pushing each other forward. We just pushing each other like, yo, you know, you got to keep going. My mom, she still to this day, even before I did this interview, she came in here and just try to freshen my
Okay.
beard up. You know what I mean? Mothers are gonna be mothers, man. If they around,
Absolutely.
they gonna mother. So yeah, I mean, she definitely did that. But yeah, man.
Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I had a question I wanted to ask, but you brought up something that I want to touch on, that I was going to touch on later, but I'm going to talk about it now since you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask the both of you this, because being in this business, this is a business of no.
Absolutely.
And you hear no more often than you hear yes. And Chase, I shared something with you a couple weeks ago. For me, no means next opportunity, not right now. But I wanted
Look at
ask the both of you. I'm big into personal development, so I listen to Eric Thomas and all those guys.
that. For sure.
Because you know what, you got to train that. You got to train this muscle, because if you don't, you know, some things could happen. But I wanted to ask the both of you, how have the both of you managed to stay on top of your game with this being a business of no, basically 99% of the times? What is it that makes you say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I just heard no, on to the next thing. So if you guys could touch on that.
Chase.
I feel like for me, just what keeps me going is just being grounded in who I am, knowing who I am, and knowing that, what the Most High has put inside of me is destined to come out one way or another. So if you're not the person that's, the gateway, the person I'm supposed to, what I'm saying, like usher this in with, then it's all good. One thing for me, it's funny, man. I forget the name of the author, but the Four Agreements. That was one of the first books that I read when I first got to LA. Like, and I'm an Aquarius, so it's like I'm very emotional. I'm very like, expressive about it. You know what I mean? Jones know, and it's like for me, I take a lot of stuff personal. So for me, knowing how to manage my emotions really like
Mhm.
kept me, what I'm saying, in balance and not getting like I said, just too emotional, but just learning that some things is just business. And in business, like you can't take everything personal. So for me, just learning myself, that's really what keeps me grounded and and allowing me to just get through the nose and not get defeated. I mean, we have our days, but
Mm-hmm.
just knowing that at the end of the day, this is going to happen one way or another.
Right.
Yeah. With me, I take joy in knowing that I've actually done it. You know what I mean? I've actually not done it, but put forth the work. And that speaks volumes for people that doesn't, that's not gonna actually do the work. You know what I'm saying? And we do it every day. We get up and we're faithful to the mission. And even though it may not be exactly what we want it to be at this present time, just having that faith, that belief, and that structure, like knowing that we're already beating 99% of the people that's not striving to do anything. So, you know what I'm saying? That's definitely a thing that keeps me motivated and keep me going and going right back to that, to having that village with me is why I'm able to do what I do.
That's great. Well, it looks like we lost Chase. Hopefully he'll be. Oh, there he is.
There you go.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the vampires and how that came about, and why the name vampires.
So the Vampires is a collective that's me and DJ No Frills. So we all got together and it was just like a little inside joke that him and another DJ friend of ours, shout out to DJ Voltron, um, we always would just call each other vampires. So that was a little inside joke, whatever. But it was funny though, like when we did the project, the Wu Tang Forever project, we did a lot of those sessions overnight. So
Mm.
we
Mm-hmm.
recorded them up and we was, there, like we was starting at like, 10, 11 o'clock at night and be there until the morning. So it was like we was vamping, and
Heavy vamping. Heavy vamping.
we was heavy in there. And like I
Yeah.
said, so it's just like with that run on joke just kind of like carried on. But just that element, man, that we was all into, man, it really just, we all tapped in and was like, yo, we got to run with that. And that was just a little inside joke, but it stuck.
Yeah, it's fire too.
Yeah,
That's
vampire.
beautiful. So now with the collection of, you know, different entities making up vampires, you know, what's the goal mission? You know, is it just making music, or is it the future possibility of owning your IP? What is the end game? What is the end goal for
Well,
you
you
guys?
know, definitely the end goal is the one just continue to pump out vibrations. And
Right.
you know, we're hip hop heads, so we love and we, you know, we just are hip hop heads by default. This was just an amazing opportunity to have this, you know, ability to come through and one just pay homage to one of our favorite groups, the Wu-Tang hip hop, and then, you know, get Jones involved. And it was just so crazy how it all came together. We just really wanted to come through and just pay tribute. So one thing that you can expect from the vampires, it's like we just going to do what we love, and that's just near and dear to our hearts. And we just going to continue to make good music. I mean, like I said, it's just hip hop is where we at right now. So Wu Tang, you know, is a group that we just pay homage to, and we just want to continue to just do that. Our heroes and say salute, thank you, and whether it be, you know, a Spanish record, just somebody. So it just that's definitely something that you can expect. It's just us continuing to create music, just of all kinds, but you know, and just pushing the culture forward through it.
Okay. So again, this Wednesday we're going to be doing the screening of Wu Tang and American Saga. And, and Wu Tang is one of the most iconic rap groups out there. And they were basically just lyricists. And I listen to a lot of Wu Tang when I'm in the gym. And I was listening to a song the other day, and I basically stopped in my tracks because the way he was putting it down, you would have thought he was standing. I can't remember which one it was, but you would have thought that he was standing in front of a classroom and at a college somewhere giving a lecture. That's how crazy that shit was. It was
Wow.
just unbelievable. So how has that influenced you, Wavy, in your rap music when you're putting things together? And on top of that, being a poet, and then you combine that with listening to, I mean, just basically geniuses when it comes to putting things together. So how has that influenced you as a rapper?
The knowledge they kicking. Most importantly, like the knowledge, if you really listen to Wu, they actually talking about something. They're talking about the you know the gods from back in the day that was more big, the 5% nation back in the day, those morals, those ethics that they had as black men in America back then, you know, and they was young, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like there was no excuse for how we come across lyrically and what we saying. We can still have those morals and those ethics and still be us at the same time, and still be artists and feel free to explore different ways of putting the art out and things of that nature. And I feel like Wu definitely did that for me. Like just being that voice of saying something that a lot of people were scared to say. And I mean, come on, we got representing the 5% nation. We got Ra, we got Buster, we got Nas. It was a lot of people kicking that knowledge, and you know what I'm saying? Wu's definitely stand at the forefront to come in there as a group and do it at that level.
Hmm.
Did you have something to add to that, Chase?
Nah, basically just, you know, what he said. I think it was probably Jizza. I think it was Jizza that you might be referring to. It just sounded like when you, because he's real articulate, though they were
Mhm.
all, you know, had they real eloquent ways. But yeah, man, like just Wu really just, I mean, the pioneers, you know, just one like I one thing I love, especially about this series, man, like shout out to RZA, you know what I'm saying? Because that dude's mind, like it really takes a special person to be able to construct and bring all those different entities together and really kind of make it all just go together. Whereas like awkward styles, like everybody had their own unique styles. But the fact that he brought all of that together and was able to make that. And that was like, something that was just one we can never forget. And just to be able to do that and then to just do it on a continuum basis. And here we are, 20 years later, like it's still relevant to a degree. And just how he created that ecosystem for himself. And I feel like that's something that is creative that we aspire to do. We aspire to get into a position of power to be able to create some kind of system for ourselves where we don't have to, exert too much to just like stay at this, maintain this level. And the fact that he's done it in so many different ways, man, like amazed me. And
that's art
off of just being who they authentically are. Like they
sure.
weren't, like you said, and you see, like when he did the Prince Rakeem, the gimmick, it didn't work for him. And then eventually when he got to that place in space where he was like, yo, I gotta just dig within myself, and like the struggle that them brothers went through to like, man, like you just never know, man, who checking for you. So yeah.
So what I find interesting is the fact that there were 13 of them, all different personalities, with one goal in mind. And that is a rarity, but it also speaks to vision, because John Maxwell talks about leadership and the qualities of a leader, and Ed Milet speaks on it as well. The fact that a good leader follows. So, in a lot of instances, and I'm just basing this on conjecture, but I think I'm correct in what I'm about to say. The reason RZA was such a good leader is because he was such a good follower. Because you had so many different entities in that space, and again, they were all geniuses. And for him to be able to put them together, and the crazy thing is, they all had their own voice. So to be able to do that and flourish was amazing. So what do you guys think about that? And do you guys implement any of those practices in your daily life as businessmen? Because this is a business.
So
I feel like for me, definitely, from just being an artist to being a DJ, like of wearing many hats, right? And now moving into the space of like, I started my own label and like kind of just having, other artists besides myself, like even with Wavyy and I, just with producing him and guiding and directing and setting the tone and vision. It's like you really got to be focused and really just like, clear, we're just steering the direction. Um, yeah, just having that and being able to guide and direct somebody's like strength, because it's hard, and especially like we all can attest, like you being a director, Floyd, like, it's just like when you're dealing with certain things, it's like you have to, you're dealing with a lot of different things, components, sometimes egos, and sometimes like a lot of different things. So to be able to move around and a lot of that stuff, and to be able to just like Anthony Hemingway, how he had with Wavyy. Wavyy didn't have the experience, but he saw something great, pulled that greatness out of him, and allow him in his show, because we all seen it in his performance on the show. So the thing is just seeing that and understanding that and being able to hold that and guide and construct that, and to just be able to just translate that through music, man. It's an amazing thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with what that brother said, man.
Yeah.
So Wavyy, you're going to be in the upcoming upcoming episode. So what role will you be playing in this one?
Oh, the episode is actually out now. The episode was the 6th episode of the 3rd season. I played a character named Frank. For the people that don't know, I kind of want them to, get to know who Frank is a little bit, man. And yeah, it's amazing to actually be able to work on that set, man. And yeah.
So how did you get the role? I mean, I take it your agent submitted you, or
Yeah, actually, it was a call. It was an agent. At the time I was at an agency that had like multiple agents working, and one of the agents had received something, and they gave me a call, man, and they felt like I was perfect for it. Let me just break the ice. I really don't care. I played Frank White. I played Frank White. You know, we know who Frank White is.
Frank White.
Dog, blah blah blah.
Oh,
but
okay.
Big was Frank White. You know what I'm saying? So I got a chance to play that in there. So when the call was made, it was like, yo, this dude is perfect. Of course, I sent in a tape just to show what I did. A lot of people on the internet was like, you can't be Big. He had a beard on. But what people don't understand is it was a whole alternate universe that they was coming, going back to the art and going back to the mannerisms at that, man, to even do that, to let that be the only Built for Cuban Links album. And I allowed them to have the opportunity to kind of showcase what the albums was about. And if you actually watch the episode, it kind of touches on the beef that Wu-Tang had with Big. You know what I'm saying? But it was in a whole different universe. So it was ill, man.
So let's talk about, because all right, beefs. I never understood them. So and I'm, you guys are deep into the music business. I'm film. So normally, do these things spring from? I know there are different personalities and all of that, but is it normally something that's springing from just a difference in opinion when it comes to how to do music, how to make music, or did somebody say something on the record? I mean, where did he, because again, here you have Biggie, and then you have Wu-Tang, and the talent level is crazy on both sides. And in my thing, the way I think is we need to come together so we can eat at a bigger damn table.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it. Why do you think these guys, when they did have problems with each other?
Hip hop is a sport, man.
Okay.
Hip hop is a sport, and it's like it's competition. It's just like how the Lakers would play the Knicks or something like that. So everybody, even in business, everybody is fronting to be that number one guy. Everybody wants to be the number one guy. Wants to be, you know what I'm saying, the main dude. So even with that beef, Big came forth and called himself Frank White. We know who Frank White is, you know what I'm saying? With Christopher Walken played, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was that thing. You start seeing them in the covers, being the king of New York, and everybody wanted, especially back in the 90s. But I feel like beef is way different now than what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? It was more about the sport back in the day. Of course, brothers was mad at each other, but I feel like it was just the sport, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays, it's like, these dudes is killing each other. You can't say nothing on the record. I mean, 50 came out talking about everybody in the industry, man, and nothing really happened to dude. You know what I mean? Well, he got shot 5 times, but you know what I'm saying? I mean 9 times. We ain't talking about that, but you know what I'm saying? As far as I think the brothers in the business knew what it was. It's a sport. You know what I'm saying? Everybody he threw a shot at Jay. Jay came back at him. That's what it's all about. Just getting your name recognized and getting out there further. But I think these dudes definitely nowadays took that to a whole nother level.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what do you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Oh no, I was just going to concur. I was just going to agree, man. Like this whole thing now with beef is so much different. Like you said, it's a competitive nature, and it was always about the sport. But I feel like now it's just more like, I mean, they definitely have taken it where a lot of these kids are killing each other. But then it also too, it becomes like a thing of, I feel like it's a lot of this stuff to be fake, and it's just more sort of like really kind of pump up volume and bring attention to yourself. So, but I feel like some of these, young cats, they really do got like, yo, like, now because everybody's an op. So, you know what I mean? But, the whole thing with just beef, man, it's funny, like how it's changed. But I feel like the Biggie and Pac and like, Cube and Common, like that was some real stuff. You know what I mean? And like, and the Drake and Pusha T and the Kanye stuff, like that was real because I feel like a lot of stuff is perfect. But some of this stuff, I feel like it's manufactured and they kind of just, like, oh, we're gonna do this to get attention.
Yeah.
Basically like wrestling.
Yep.
Right.
It's marketing and branding because and you know what, that's interesting. I don't know if you guys. I'm gonna just switch gears for a little bit, right? And we're gonna talk about branding for a second. If you guys saw the dress that Ciara wore,
to
the event. Now, a lot of people had a problem with that, but I didn't look at it from a standpoint of, well, she had that on. I looked at it totally from a standpoint of, do you see what's going on? All of y'all have a problem with this, but what's going on right now? You're doing posts about her, you're talking about her, and she's in the news. So with some of this beef, I'm thinking maybe that's basically what this is, because even if you're talking bad about me, you're still talking about me, which drives my numbers up. Would you guys agree with that?
Visibility. I mean, I guess I look at it from a standpoint like me as a man, and I feel like with Russell Wilson, like like she's like in that like comes from that dynamic, right, where Russell Wilson is considered the good guy, Future bad guy, where it's like, but it's all about just I feel like it's really just secure, just the security of the man, and like I feel like he didn't have a problem with it. I feel like why should we? It's like that's not our woman. A lot of times people like to make problems, but I guess like you said, from a marketing branding standpoint, if that was just a move that can catapult her and capitalize off of that, then yeah, then like, just be able to set up that you got all this attention. But me personally, I mean, she looked nice. You know what I'm saying?
He said she looked nice.
I wasn't mad.
I was mad at all. I was looking with my looking ass.
I wasn't looking at it where my wife was in the room, but I wasn't mad.
I give a little.
Yeah.
So what are you guys working on right now?
Man, Jones got everything. What you working on, Wave?
Man, I'm working on doing these films, doing this music, man. We also have the Wu-Tang Forever project, so we're gonna get that in motion and start pushing that out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, definitely more acting, just more everything, man. We actually working on writing a series. You want to talk about that, Chase? You want me to?
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely if you want to talk about it, man. I mean, we got
Yeah,
a lot. We got a lot coming, man.
yeah,
Like you said, the Wu-Tang Forever project. So y'all heard the first two singles. They out right now, the Freestyle Ice Cream, Wu-Tang Forever, you know what I'm saying? Go stream it. Produced by Lil Beats. That's out there everywhere. But then we got two new joints, two completely brand new records nobody ever heard. So we gonna play them only for the crowd before we release it to the world. So we got that whole pack coming. And Wavyy and I, we got tons and tons of music, man. And so if those that that follow Wavyy, so we dropped a project last year called I Feel Like a Rapper, season 1. And the mixtape, I mean, you can say it's a vampires collab. Um,
definitely.
before, yeah, and DJ No Frills and I, we got together, we hosted it, and it's a mixtape. But the way how we put it out, the branding of it, and the marketing, it looked like a TV series. So a lot of people thought Wavyy had a new show coming out. How we made the cover art. So we Wavyy and I, we was together last summer, and we out, and we just decided we started writing and we started developing the idea for a show. So we about to actually turn that into something. So yeah,
Yeah,
we about to turn that into a series.
yeah, sure.
Wow. Now, are we talking web series, or are we talking about something that you're going to put together and package and get a possible deal with the streaming service?
Now,
What we talking
back
about?
get a deal with it.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
about to be
nice.
a a series that we packaged it. I mean, we basically have a lot of things in the pocket already. We're just in the development stage of developing the script, and Wavy and I, we're gonna sit down and put some pieces together, and yeah, but we got a few pieces already in place, with production and getting the pilot all together, and yeah, and really getting this thing moving.
Okay, so who's going to be? And I guess you guys are going to be the executive producers, or are you bringing in partners, or is it just basically an internal thing?
No, I mean that's essentially, we definitely gonna bring in partners,
Mhm.
see where it fits. I feel like now we're just like more doing a lot of the development just of the script and like the writing aspect of it. I feel like because see this is all new for me. Like
Okay.
this I'm more like, when it gets to the post-production side, that's, you know, the side where I come alive. But working in this aspect, and it's cool for me, like working as a producer, you know, being able to bring different entities together and, you know, just help translating the idea and turning it into something. This is really cool. And so, yeah, it's definitely something where we're definitely looking to bring on partners and just allow us to just have the best product as possible, because the idea is there and the story is there.
Okay, so now as far as so no principal shooting has happened yet. So is it still in the development stage or?
Yeah, it's still early in the development. We actually we shot a few skits for. We're gonna be releasing those pretty soon,
Okay.
but right now we're still in the development stages right now when we're working on, packaging it and getting our people on board and taking it to the agents, the managers, the lawyers, and all of that type of stuff. So yeah, we in that, putting the music around how we trying to base it, the episodes and everything. It's gonna be real dope, man. It's gonna be real nice, and it's gonna be talking about basically, I'm saying, that grind to be a rapper, everything that goes into it, the struggles we deal with on a everyday basis, trying to chase the dream, and stuff like that, man. It's gonna be crazy, and there's a lot of different little Easter egg surprises in there too.
Bong
You know,
bong.
that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to.
For
And if you
sure.
guys need any help, because I know a couple people, I will
Uh-oh.
be more than willing to pass along some names depending on what aspect of it you guys need as far as producers, entertainment lawyers, things like that. I know some absolutely phenomenal. I don't do the name drop, but you guys are really doing some really good stuff. So I don't mind sharing the people that I know.
For sure.
Let's talk about that real quick. I was about to let y'all go, but we got to talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Dog,
Out when you're in this business, your reputation. How important is it for the two of you? And Wavy, you kind of mentioned this before we even came on, of people talking about you when you're not even in the room,
mhm.
Mm,
and the importance of that. And just like I mentioned, I know some people, but how close to the vest do you keep certain people that you know? Let's say, for instance, if someone decided that they had a project, and you may know someone that fits that project.
hmm
How close to the vest do you guys keep your contacts? Because, like in Donnie Brasco, once I put it out there and I speak for you, if it goes wrong, it comes back on me.
mm. See what you saying, that you took it to another level. But I always, it don't matter who you are. If I think you're right for a role,
Mhm.
I wanna tell somebody that. You know what I'm saying? I've never been the type to hold on to information and not give it, because that's what we're here for. I may not be here tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So while I'm here, I'm on a mission to make sure that if I can help anybody in any way to further their career or whatever have you, I want to speak and say that. I want to. My boy Dominic Santana, he told us something. Me and Mark Rose that played Pac and Unsolved. He told us something. He said, make sure when you in these interviews, you mention people's names. He was like, say their names. And I was wondering, why are we gonna say their name for? You know what I mean? But the reason you say their name is because that then allows other people to say, wait, who is that? Let me check for that person. You know what I'm saying? Let me see who that is. That's why I never mind coming in the interview, a room I'm in or whatever. If you say that there's a job that needs to be done and I know somebody that can do the job, I'm gonna say, you know what? I know such and such. You know what I'm saying? You need this. Oh, Floyd does that. You need, Chase makes music. I want to be able to say that. You know what I'm saying? But you're right when you say stuff about keeping it close to the vest, because that does come back on us. If they go out there and mess it up, that comes back on us. Like, yo, you sent this, and then that kills my reputation. But I want to be able to have that conversation with everybody. Like, even if I'm not a part of the project, I want to sit down in the room. Like, listen, I felt that he was good for the project because of this. I want to make it known why that person was good for the project. Now, if he don't do it, you know what I'm saying? If he don't do it, what I think he can do, take that up with him. You know what I'm saying? But right now, like, I'm gonna speak this brother's room. I'm gonna speak this brother's name. I'm gonna speak this sister's name because they deserve that opportunity. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely looking for people that I feel is right for that job and I'm gonna speak their name for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Like you said, it's just about, because there's enough room in it for all of us. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
feel a lot of times people get the crab basket mentality and they often put that on, which is true. But I feel like just for people like us, it's a blessing in being a blessing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, folks like Wavy and I, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get it. We understand that concept that, it was somebody that looked out for us. So we just, hey, look, I'm not a hater. Like, I can't do it all. But at the end of the day, if I can help bring this other man up, and I mean, I've seen Wavy done it tons of times. And it's just like, it's like I said, it's an honor to watch him grow. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing from when he first got to Hollywood to where he is now. And it's just like, man, and like me being out there, living in Cali for 12 years and just moving and grooving the way I have, it's like, oh, you know what? Getting into these places because, we have integrity. And I feel like that's one thing that's just been instilled in us. And I know that's one thing that my father, you know what I'm saying? Like, big up to my pops, man. Like, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, taught us the principles of just being a man of your word and really kind of showing up. If you want to do something, then you're gonna show up. You're gonna do that. I feel like those are principles. I just learned that we learn at home, and I feel like when we carry that just into our place as adults and just as professionals, we definitely just want to make that infectious. It's a saying that I live by, and I feel like it's so true. Make people feel your presence and remember your absence.
Mm.
You know, and I feel like because it's like you in the room, you just so infectious, they gonna feel that, and then it's like going people, yo, where so and so at, and like a perfect example, Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? It's a person like he'll be somewhere, and it's like what I mean. It's like yo, when he come out, Hov is out, he outside, but then when he go, yo, I ain't heard from Jay. Where Jay at? Like like so, that's it, man.
Yeah. How you feel
Beautiful.
about that, Floyd?
You know what? As I move up and as I meet certain people, I'm a little more guarded than I used to simply because I approach this more from a standpoint of a business now.
Mm.
And depending on who I'm talking to, that will determine if I'm giving you a name. Because I've been burned a lot
Mm.
when I give a name, and then they come looking at me side eye. So if I give somebody's name, then I know that I won't have any worries. So it really depends on who I'm talking to, who's asking for the help, who's asking for the information, who's asking
Right.
for that particular person in that particular situation. Um, I am very free with it, but it just depends on the person that I'm talking to. Because if I see that your work ethic is kind of shaky, I'm not doing that. Because
Mm-hmm.
here's my thing. Time is the one thing that no one can ever get back. So if I'm sending someone to someone and you're wasting their time, you're wasting their money, they can get that back.
Mm-hmm.
You may have missed up the production schedule, they can work around that. But the time is something that they can never get back. So I'm very careful when I'm saying, okay, well, you know what? Wavy said he needed somebody for this particular project, and somebody said, "Oh, I can do that." I'm like, see, I don't know about that because I'm looking at your past history and I'm looking at your
Right.
work ethic. And if I know
Mm-hmm.
that you're somebody that you're gonna show up every day, I'll give you an example. You guys said that you're in the beginning stages. And I'll just throw a name out there, and you guys may know her or know of her. Rachel Afori. She is one of the dopest producers out there right now. Rachel, if you're listening, I love you. But she's out of Philadelphia. One of the dopest producers you ever want to see. My man out in California, Brandon Myrie, another guy, crazy dope producer. So I can share that with you too. and anyone else that'll be listening to the podcast. But I can share that with you too, because Wavyy, now this is our first time meeting, but the fact that you're cool with Chase, and I haven't known Chase that long, but he knows Eli and Lou, and I know how Eli and Lou get down. So it's like association. So if they rocking with you and you rocking with him, then I know y'all shit is good.
For sure.
So I wouldn't have a problem saying, okay, well, check out, because it's some people that I definitely want to put y'all in touch with, but I don't have a problem with that. And plus, I did my research on both of you, so I know, you know, you guys are solid. But you know, to make a long story short, it would really depend on who I'm talking to and who is asking me for a name, because anybody listening to this right now, you got to be very careful when you meet someone and they come into your life and they're adding value to you. You got to be very careful how you giving shit out. You really do, because they're trusting you with their time. They're trusting you with their trust. So you got to be real careful how you move with that. So I hope that answers your question.
No, that's great. That's great. That's great. And that also goes back to protecting your energy and
Yes.
the people that you choose to deal with and things of that nature. You said something, man. Damn, it just kind of left my head. But I feel that, and when you can speak for somebody's work, you know what I mean, opposed to just like you know what I mean. I definitely dig that. Like, speak for their work of what you know. But you know, there's just all type of different people out there that got different agendas and stuff, man. It's like it'd be rough to kind of funnel out the good stuff from the bad stuff. But yeah, man, definitely protect that energy, protect your reputation with your heart, for sure. You know what I'm saying? If you speak for something, be speaking for somebody that you know for sure is gonna come and deliver.
Yeah, and if you're speaking again, and I'm just going to use the two of you as an example, if you're going to speak to someone, you better have a level of discernment, because guess what? You will figure out pretty darn fast we're all adults here. You'll figure out pretty fast who's a bullshitter or who's about that work.
Facts.
Because if you listen to them long enough, it always comes out in a wash. It always comes out in a wash. So that's how I didn't used to move like that. But here's how I started moving like that. This ain't about me. This is about y'all. I got to share this with y'all. I didn't start moving like that until I got around people that actually moved like that.
Move like bullshit or move like...
No. When I started thinking the way I think now, I didn't start thinking that way until I got around people that thought that way. As they say, show me your closest 5 friends, and I'll show you where you're going. I'll show you your level of success. So if you're hanging around 5 mediocre people, mediocrity is what you're going to end up with. But if you're hanging around 5 heavy hitters, hungry, ready to go, vampires, then I'm going to I can see your trajectory, your level of success. But I didn't get to that point until I started hanging around those types of people. So
I like that.
That's real. That's very
I like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This podcast ain't about me, man. I'm supposed to be getting
Nah, man, but it's a conversation. I thought you know what I mean? It's a conversation.
It is a conversation. It is a conversation.
And even with us, like, you know what I'm saying, with all 3 of us on this part on this right now, it's like we all learning different things, and we're listening to conversation, and we're picking up different jewels. You know what I'm saying? You know how people say like what they say, chew the chicken, spit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? So you get the good gems of the stuff that you need to apply pressure onto your dream of what you're trying to do. So what you just said, that you just dropped something deep right there, man. And that's definitely something that needs to be considered, not only for us, but whomever's watching, whatever have you. That is knowledge that we need, man. Like we definitely need to do that. So, I mean,
and you're right. And again, one of the cornerstones for me is personal development.
Mm.
And some of the people that I listen to, and I mentioned a couple of them, Ed Mylett, John Maxwell, Eric Thomas. It's another brother that I listen to from Philly, Nehemiah Davis, Les Brown, and the things that they talk about as far as leadership. And I always try to tell people, and I'll just share this with you guys, it all translates. It all translates over, good business practices, as you said earlier, Chase, how you treat people and how they feel when you leave the room. If you can walk into a room and it lights up simply by you being there, that's a beautiful thing. Oh shit, here come Wavyy.
Yeah.
Oh man, life just got better. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes, sir.
And that's going back to your thing, protecting your energy.
Yeah.
But we're coming up on that hour, and I have one last question for the two of you gentlemen, because this has been an absolutely amazing conversation.
For sure.
What advice would each of you give someone who was looking to break into these industries that y'all occupy?
Man, don't be afraid to be who you are. You have your own unique abilities for a reason. Somebody out there is checking for you, looking for what you have. And a lot of times we get caught by what is the popular thing. That might not always be your thing. So whatever drives you and gets you going and that help gets your heart beating and your mind every day, don't be afraid to express that. Somebody in the world needs that.
Yeah. I'm gonna piggyback over what bro said. Like, you know what I'm saying? Definitely just know that you're an original God piece and there's no other person that can be you. If you try to deliver to what's going on, the fads and all that stuff get played out and you get played out with it. So the best thing to do is stay in your lane, you know what I'm saying, and keep doing what you're doing because there's greatness in it. Don't be good, be great. You know what I mean? There's greatness in what you got going on. There's power in your story. You know what I'm saying? And just keep being you and bringing forth new ideas. Give us new things to do. Be innovative. Don't be recreating. Be innovative. And let's get to it, man. Sky's not the limit. It's your surface. So let's definitely get to it.
Wow. And you know what? You just said something that was real interesting, both of you. But you just said something, Wavyy. And I was listening to this brother on Instagram. I don't know who he is, but he said, "Create the culture, don't consume it." And
Say
that's
that.
basically what he said. That's basically
Sure.
what you just said. He said, "Create the culture." I wrote that thing down. I got it right back there. So I always look. Every time I do a podcast, I look at it, and you just, your uniqueness. Create your culture, but don't consume it. Which is a beautiful thing. But gentlemen, this has been absolutely phenomenal. And again, ladies and gentlemen, Wednesday, Philadelphia, 6:30, Wu-Tang, the American Saga. We will be streaming that episode, doing some networking, doing some chatting. I cannot wait to meet you in person, Brother Wavyy. Looking forward to that. Chase, always good to see you in the building again. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the Philadelphia area, visit Eventbrite, the Wu-Tang screening, Philadelphia Film Factory event. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Come out and do some networking and do some relationship building. We didn't even talk about relationship building. We have to talk about that. We'll have to talk about that on the next episode because Brother Wavyy is a busy man and we got to get him out of here. But guys, I really appreciate you taking time out of your evening to come and sit with me and chop it up a little bit. I truly appreciate it. Not going to keep you any longer, but ladies and gentlemen, if you like the episode, please share it.
Yeah.
Wait, before we go, where can people find the both of you on social media?
So I'm at Chase Flow International. You can find me there. Go to flow.com, the website, and then CWMMG, Chase What Matters Music Group, the label. So like I said, we got the event on Wednesday. We got Jones, Taniqua Jones. Shout out to ODB's daughter. will be in the building too, man. So it'll be an honor, man, to have them both in the city, man, and to be able to talk, man, and fellowship and all that good stuff. So like I said, Chase What Matters and WMMG and Chase Flow International.
Yeah, you can find me on all platforms at I am Wavyy Jonez. It's IAMWAVYYJONEZ. That's Instagram, that's Twitter, that's TikTok. Man, hit me up. Let's network. Let's get something done. It takes teamwork to make the dream work. I can't wait to come out there to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to T, Taniqua Jones. Shout out to Chase, Eli Lou. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to this event. I really feel like it's going to be a event of change. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's definitely do that and let's tap in and let's get it done.
Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from a source.
Yes, sure.
And on that note, again, thank you guys so much for spending the last hour of your time with us, because as I said earlier, time is the one thing that you cannot get back. And the fact that you decided to spend it with the three of us is just a thing that we're very humbled and gracious and thankful for. So thank you so much. And on that note, guys, have an absolutely phenomenal night. And just take this with you. Love this thing like a hobby, but always treat it like a business. And to your success. Have a great night. Peace.
Brother Floyd, yeah.
My man.